civil target dispatch 4 Bravo 65. 20 low. Overall.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Another edition. Everybody doing tonight? Hello, Athena. Hello, Mary. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. It's day before Thanksgiving, so it's this mix of running around and trying to get everything done, as well as that starting to get into that mode of gratitude and blessings and just really enjoying the holiday as much as possible. So it's a little bit of both. A lot of paradoxes going on these days, and we'll talk more about that later. But how about y'all? How are you doing for Thanksgiving? Or what are y'all doing? Are you cooking? Are you going someplace for a turkey? Or you?
We got all the stuffings this holiday. Welcome, Kathy. Welcome, Mr. Easterbrook. And from the Bigfoot Outlaw family, we wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. For the family members with the Outlaw family, and for the ones that are not at home with their family, we wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
So do you want to introduce Mary to the group? Would you like to introduce Mary to the group a little bit and let her say something?
What is wrong with me? Yeah, this is Mary. Yes, this is my significant other, Mary. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm so used to having her around me. You know, it's like one of these rocks, right? One of these stones. You're just so used to having it in your pocket, it just weighs you down, and you forget it's there.
Oh, now. Be careful what you're saying there, Grizz.
Hey, I love her to death, man. She's great. I mean, yeah, I can't live without her.
You can poke them. It's okay.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, she's my significant other, my best friend. So yeah, I don't know what I'd do without her.
Oh, that's wonderful. So Mary, would you like to say a few words here, or maybe share some thoughts on blessings or gratitude or the holiday? I kind of sense you got this great wisdom vibe around you, even though you're sitting close to Grizzly there.
Well, I'm very excited for the holiday, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope that everyone is blessed. I did see that Scott says that it looks like Grizz is getting better. The prayers did work last night. He is feeling much better today. So everybody that helped pray last night, thank you for those prayers.
Yes, that was awful last night. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk barely. Yeah, it was awful. And Scott, we are thankful for everybody that are watching our channel and support our channel. And that's why that we're growing so much that we actually are signing paperwork with the Channel 12. And we're also looking at another network that's reached out to us to broadcast on some more channels. So we're trying to figure that out and work out the logistics on that. So once again, we're very thankful. So yes, absolutely.
And I'd also like to echo my thanks for the Bigfoot family. This has been the highlight of my week for the 8 or 9 weeks we've been doing it now. I think somewhere around there. And it is an opportunity to shine light and have fun and really feel connected. And what I would love for those of you that are on the chat is just to put a couple of words down for what you're grateful for in your life. Because I think it's really important that we get in touch with that, because putting that energy out there and sharing that, it kind of claims it and you own it. You know, when you proclaim it on a public platform where other people can hear it or see it, it really helps to solidify. So take a moment now and just, if you're on that chat, just type a couple of words or sentence of things that you feel grateful for in your life, especially those things that you want to continue. Because that, I believe gratitude is part of the fuel for the engine of manifesting. And that as we hold that vibration of gratitude, it helps us not only feel that love and joy in our heart and brings us a sense of peace to our mind and soul, it also can plant the seeds for the other things that are coming. And I could just make it a real practical kind of thing if you think about it. Like if you have a partner and you express a lot of gratitude for things that that partner is doing for you, that partner feels appreciated and they want to do more, right? And that's just human nature, right? If we feel like somebody appreciates what we've done and they've expressed gratitude, it makes us feel good. It makes them feel good. And it's like, oh, wow, they appreciated what I did. Oh, sure. So the next time I have an opportunity to do something, am I going to do it for the person who has expressed gratitude, or am I going to do it for somebody who hasn't? Most likely I'm going to do it for the person that has gratitude. And I think that spirit is kind of, we're children of spirit. So if we have that as a general tendency that's common amongst all of us, I think that there must be an aspect of that that's also true for spirit. So those prayers of thanks and gratitude, especially in advance of the blessing, really helps to pave the way for those blessings to come even more quickly. And I'm very grateful right now because I think part of the struggle a lot of us have been going through is the world has just been biting on our butt, right? It's like in our face with all of the craziness that's been going on, whether it's contention, whether it's still politics, whether it is, even daylight savings. It's like, it's dark so early now, right? It's like, I feel like it's bedtime at 5 o'clock and it's like, no, it's only 5. It's pitch black out there. But it gives us an opportunity to see the stars more. It gives us an opportunity to get in touch with that season, right? Because even the seasons, I don't know. Hey, Grizz and Mary, are you familiar with the Essene culture very much, or the Celtic culture?
No, I'm not.
So the Essenes really looked at the cycles of nature and the cycles of self. And so the Essenes and the Celts, perhaps even some of the Druids, right? They looked at when's the solstice, when are the different equinoxes. They looked at different parts of the year as signals as to what we should be echoing in our life, right? So when we're coming up now to the winter solstice on the 21st, this is going to be the darkest day, the least amount of sun that we're going to experience, or least amount of hours or time of daylight throughout the world. And so it is an opportunity for us to embrace that, not necessarily the darkness within us, but that withdraw within, right? Take that time to connect with source, take that time to be creative, take that time to reflect, to heal, to kind of go into the cave, right? It's not the time necessarily to be out and about in the world. However, with social media, we can be in our cave and in the world at the same time. So I think it would like blow the minds of the ancient Druids and Essenes and the Celts. They'd be like, whoa, I'm in my cave and I'm still talking to you. That's pretty cool. Right. So I think we have this opportunity to kind of do the in-breath during the winter and gather the tools, gather the knowledge, download and open up to the promptings of spirit. What is it that we need to build and heal and maybe fine tune so that when spring comes and we want to burst forth, right? And the light is more hours of daylight are coming, and we get to that point in the cycle. It's like, okay, now you've had this time within. Now, what are you going to share on a bigger scale? So I try not to get too wrapped up in. I know a lot of people have that seasonal affective disorder with with less sunlight out there. They don't feel as good. And if any of you listening seem to have that affliction or those symptoms, there's actually really cool devices you can get that have full spectrum light that you can put and sit in front of, or even put in your office place, so that you're sitting under the full spectrum vibrations. And that really helps to shift mood and produce the different hormones that we don't produce as much when we're not getting the natural sunlight. So, but that was a really weird kind of to get there, but it got there. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is tomorrow's Thanksgiving. First of all, that's just a U.S. holiday, right? So one of the things that we can do as Americans is hold that attitude of gratitude out and share that vibration of love and thanks and gratitude with the whole world, right? So it's our holiday. However, it is never wasted energy or effort to take a moment to count your blessings, to express thanks, to express gratitude, and share that love and light with others, right? So if you're tuned in from the UK, you can give thanks just as well as anybody here eating turkey tomorrow, right? We want you and invite you to get into that wavelength. You know, the more people that are feeling gratitude for the beauty of our planet, gratitude for the food on their table, the roof over their head, the friends in their life, meaningful, purposeful work, right? As we spread more and more of that vibration, we're helping to heal and spread some peace as well. Now, let's see. Did we get a couple of people putting their blessings and gratitude in
Family
in
and
the
friends, yes.
Okay, good. Okay, because it's a good opportunity to do it, you know. So please, you know, put them there so they're out there. The other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is holidays in general can be very challenging for us as spiritual beings. Why? Because we're very aware of the whole spiritual dimension, right? We can perceive and communicate with those on the other side of the veil. But those people that are on the other side of the veil now, that used to be on this side of the veil, we're missing, especially when it comes to holidays, right? We think back to all the family traditions, you know, whether it was making Christmas cookies with grandma, or tomorrow's Thanksgiving, or making the stuffing, right? I remember years ago sitting at my grandmother's kitchen table, helping her to shred up the bread, because you can't use fresh bread for stuffing. It has to be a little drier to absorb all the good stuff that you mix in it before it goes into the bird. I remember sitting there and, you know, music would be playing and we'd be chatting while we're ripping the bread. I miss simple little traditions, right? It's sometimes they're big traditions, but most of the time we miss the contact of those people that made those holidays so special because of the traditions, because of the family interactions or the friend interactions that we had. And so it's very normal if you're feeling a little melancholy or a little overwhelmed, if you're the one who's hosting Thanksgiving and you're like, oh my God, I have to clean the house, I have to shop, I have to cook, I have to, you know, all the whole to-do list, you know, seems like it's the mile long, right? If you're the one who's traveling, that may not be very easy depending on how far you're going, right? You got to pack, clean up whatever you got to clean up. If you have pets, if you're not taking them with you, you have to have, you know, find some care for your pets. You have to pack. You have to, if you're cooking and bringing something, if you're driving, maybe you're bringing a dish or two to share with the meal. So you're preparing that. And then they're actually traveling and hoping the roads will be okay if you're driving. I had a friend who called me a couple hours ago. He was stuck in a traffic jam after going over the Tappan Zee Bridge. He's like, I'm in bumper to bumper traffic, you know, and he's on his way to Jersey to go be with his family for Thanksgiving tomorrow. And he's like, yeah, he's like, me and 8 million other people all had the same idea, right? And they're all trying to get there. So you have to be patient, you know, with yourself and be kind, you know, to yourself. And if you're flying, well, God knows these days, you know, flying is not easy. You know, that in itself can be a bit of a challenge, right? So keeping in mind why we're jumping through all these hoops, right? It's because we want to be together and have that sense of connection with the family and the friends and the people that are most important to us. And if you're like myself, I'm divorced, right? So I'm not with the person that I was always with on the holidays for the last 18 years, right? If you have lost a loved one through death or them moving on in whatever way, right? If they're not there anymore, there's a big hole in your heart when you come up to these holidays, because you think back to, oh, I won't have that same place. I love the tradition of having a place at the table set for all the loved ones who are no longer physically present. And I have several friends and family that used to, continue to do that on the holidays. And I like that because it acknowledges that spirit is still there. And you want to have it acknowledged sometimes that, yeah, I'm missing mom, or I'm missing dad, or I'm missing grandma, or I'm missing my brother, or whoever it is, right? And if you're alone, it can also be kind of daunting, right? So what if you're living in a place where you don't have family and friends nearby, right? And you're like, oh, it's the holiday, and I'm going to eat a turkey. What is it? I was going to say TV dinner. Do they even have TV dinners anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, they sure do.
Okay, so you're going to have a little turkey dinner, or you're going to go out for Chinese food or something, right? I did that one year when I was alone on Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, I don't want to get into the whole turkey thing. I'm just going to go get some Chinese food, and it was totally fine. I went to a buffet, but it takes a lot. When you are perceiving that everyone around you is having this interaction with friends and family and in the holiday spirit, and you feel alone, it can be really hard. So you want to make sure you're being loving and patient with yourself if you're in that situation. And you can also be proactive, right? You don't have to sit there and suffer in silence. You can call up a friend or a family member, or a church member or a community member and say, hey, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Can I bring a pie? Can you put an extra plate there? I'd love to come in and share it with you. And speaking of churches and communities, quite a few of them will have sort of, it's not a potluck necessarily, but they'll host a Thanksgiving dinner, and anybody who doesn't have any place else to go is welcome there, right? So check around in your community. I bet you that there are places you could go where you don't have to, figure something out for yourself. You can be proactive and say, do I care about this holiday enough? Will it bother me if I'm sitting home alone, or if I'm, getting Chinese takeout for Thanksgiving? If it doesn't bother you, cool. But if in part of you, there's a feeling of, wow, I just don't want to be alone tonight. I'd really love to be with somebody. Reach out to somebody, and maybe reach out to another single person, and say, hey, are you home for Thanksgiving? Yeah, you are. I'm too. Hey, why don't the two of us go out together somewhere? Right. So it can just be initiating that, so really check in with yourself and know it's okay, whatever you're feeling, and feeling a little overwhelmed before that feeling of gratitude can really bubble up and spread out. That's okay. That's part of what we go through, right? We are spiritual beings having the human experience, right? Well, part of the human experience is all the ups and downs, and it's all those emotions that are part of who we are, especially when we're approaching a holiday. It's missing the people that are with us. Yeah, I'm lucky I can talk to loved ones in spirit, right? So I can get messages, I can feel their presence, I can feel their love, but I can't hug my mama. I can't play cards with my dad. I can't wrestle around with my brother, right? They're on the other side of the veil. So all that physical stuff that we used to do as a family around the holidays, I can't do anymore. Not with them, right? Now, what was really nice is members from the church I go to, one of the families, knew my situation, and they said, hey, we have plenty of food. Why don't you come on down? We'll play some games before the meal. We'll have a nice meal. And then we'll either watch football or play more games after. And I was like, yes, thank you. How lovely that would be, right? So if you are in a group and you have your family, think about, are there some people, you can call them stragglers, you can call them the single people that are in your circle, right? Are there some people that you don't know if they have plans? If you have that generosity of heart and you have enough food and an extra place at your table, maybe, call them and say, hey, by the way, just wanted to check in and make sure you had some place to go. Remember, we're all part of a wonderful spiritual family, right? We talked about this before. The people that are older than us, they are spiritual grandparents and parents. People at our same age, they're our brothers and sisters, our cousins, or second cousins twice removed, right? Depending on how far out you go. And the people that are younger than us, they're our kids and grandkids in spirit, right? We all have this connection. We all part of this one world family. So when it comes to sharing that light that we talked about many times, and that sense of purpose and kindness, this is a time when it can really make a difference to a person who might be struggling. I mean, I've heard that the suicide hotlines are most active around the holidays. And you think, wow, that seems kind of sad, in a season where there's supposed to be this feeling of love and joy and connectedness. Well, for people that aren't feeling very connected, it makes them feel even more isolated and even more, not ostracized necessarily, but just different, right? They're like, everybody around me seems happy and with the holiday spirit, and I'm struggling. How can we help them? How can we share more love and light, and even just kindness, checking in, making sure they're okay, including them whenever we can, right? Those are little things that I know when we have this crazy to-do list of all the things that, we're trying to get done and squeeze into a very short period of time, because, right after Thanksgiving, we're off into the Christmas season, right? And then that has a whole another trajectory in life of its own, right? Of a million things that everyone's doing. So it's really important that when we're taking the time to pause and give thanks for the many blessings in our life, the many gifts of our life, that we are also paying it forward to others, and in whatever ways we can, and including others, and helping to share and shed joy and inclusiveness and love to those. If there's been somebody that's estranged in your family, for whatever reason, you probably can't even remember what was the fight that happened 20 years ago that, the two brothers aren't talking anymore, or what was the choice that the trans child made that some of the cousins didn't understand, and now they're not talking. I don't know. Why would you close your heart down to somebody when you have an opportunity to heal and to open it up and just be inclusive? Remember, you don't have to like somebody in order to love them, which is a good thing, right? We can shine our love. You don't have to hang out and have them become your new best friend for everybody you meet, right? It's about just sharing your light and sharing that love. Okay. Well, that was an interesting little comment there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to kind of read that one again.
I had to read it twice.
I did. Forgiveness is also huge, right? Forgive yourself for not getting everything done that you wanted to get done, for not being the house isn't as clean as you wanted, and the food isn't as prepared as you wanted, and whatever, right? Forgive anybody that's hurt you, because if we hold on to any negativity, that's kind of like, it's like hitting the brakes when you're trying to drive, right? Well, if you have your foot on the gas and you're spending that love out there and that gratitude out there and you're humming along, the minute you start to withhold forgiveness or you start feeling negative towards somebody, it's like slamming on the brakes. And it's like, what is going on here, right? So first, forgive yourself, then forgive others. And it's really not about blame or fault. It's just, if you are holding on to the negativity, you're the one who's suffering, not the other people involved. They don't know what you're feeling, right? Most likely, especially if it's somebody that you've cut off ties, or, that you've perceived to hurt you. So you're okay there. Well, any of that negativity that you're holding towards them, that's just going to eat away at you. And so the best thing that you can do is just bless and release, forgive and move on. You don't forget, because you don't want to repeat lessons, right? But you take with you the lessons, you take with you the love, and you take with you the healing that's possible, and you leave all the rest, because you don't need all that other stuff. That other stuff will just weigh you down, and it'll be like, if you had a dimmer switch on your light, the more that you hate, the less you forgive. It's like turning that dimmer light down, down, down. The more you forgive, the more you let go, the more you bless, the more you share your love, the more you consciously do acts of kindness. And they don't have to necessarily be random. You can really think them through if you want, right? As well as those spontaneous ones. All of those things turn up the dimmer light so that it becomes brighter and brighter, and we're able to shine in a whole different way. Any thoughts you guys want to share before I go through the cards that I picked for today's messages? Anything, Mary, anything that's coming to your mind, hon, that you'd like to share with the group?
No, I'm just very listening intently to what you're having to say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful.
Cool. So, as usual, I picked a couple angel cards for today. And so for anybody that's newer to tuning into us, what I do is I ask Spirit to help find some messages that will have meaning across the board to whoever is tuning in, whenever you're tuning in. So whether you're listening live tonight, or whether you're tuning in a week from now or a year from now, hopefully there's going to be a message within the guidance that came from Spirit that'll resonate with you, and you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I needed to hear that today. Because that's kind of the fun of the whole process, I think, because we ask Spirit, like, oh, we want to make sure we're addressing your spiritual needs as well as some of the more intellectual sides of things. So the first angel card that I chose today is Archangel Raphael. And he is the archangel who brings health, healing, and abundance. And he helps us to develop and perfect our intuition and inner wisdom. And he also protects travelers on their journeys. So for all y'all traveling right now, or like wherever you happen to be, this is a particularly good card because it's also health, healing, and abundance, right? If we're stuck in disease, it's hard for us to feel that flow, right? And dis-ease, right? I know people have picked that word apart before, but if you're not feeling ease, if you are not feeling peace, it's hard to be in the flow of abundance, right? It's like we get stuck. If you're treading water and your hair's on fire and you're like, I don't know whether to go into the water because I might drown, but if I stay above, I'm going to burn to death. It's like, if you're in this kind of crazy panic all the time, it's going to be really challenging for you to hear the voice of Spirit coming through and to feel joy and to feel like you're on track with living your life's purpose. So Archangel Raphael saying, hey, call out to me. Archangel Raphael is also the archangel who is kind of in charge of the emerald green of the Reiki ray. So for our healing practitioner friends, Archangel Raphael is like one of the main spirits to call out to help to amplify. So if you have a need for extra healing, if you're going to call out to specific guides or angels, he's a good one to call when you're in need of a little extra healing. The next card that I chose, angel card, is about the ocean. And this is reminding us the deep blue sea speaks to our souls. It heals and soothes us. Even imagining yourself dipping into the healing womb brings the desirable effects. If you're able to physically get to water, obviously this time of year it can be a little cold unless you happen to be lucky enough to go down to like the Caribbean or someplace much further south. But the sound of the ocean waves, right? I know there's some sleep tracks. I think it's Alexa every now and again will ask me like, oh, would you like me to play some soothing music or some soothing sea sounds, to fall asleep to? There's something that's very calming of that rhythmic pulsing of the waves, and just the whole vibration of water being peaceful at the same time as being powerful. Water represents emotions, right? So the more we can soothe and calm our emotions, the more that sense of peace can be pervasive in our life. And then I chose an oracle card, and the card I got was the card of guidance, actually, which is kind of fun. And this particular card says, ask for guidance and feel the glowing energy in your body. Follow your spiritual path wherever it may lead you. Trust your gut feelings, your visions, and inner voice. So this is also, I think, very appropriate for all of us to be reminded of today, right? Again, as we're getting into this holiday season where everything seems to be at a breakneck speed, this is saying, slow down, relax, tune in, and ask for the guidance of what are the most important things to be focused on right now, whether it's for healing, whether it's for growth, whether it's for manifesting, whether it's for planting seeds for things that need to happen so that your soul can really express the full measure of your creation. Then I picked a few tarot cards for today. And the first one is our lovely King of Pentacles reversed. And that card, when I always see it, when I get that card, is I'm drawn to the bull. And the bull reminds me, don't be stubborn, right? So often we just lock in and we get really stubborn, and that blocks the voice of spirit, right? We think we know what we have to do. And we might have, whether it's a loved one whispering in our ear saying, honey, why don't you have some nice hot tea with lemon and honey in it? And that'll soothe your throat and it'll open up your nasal passages, right? And you're like, I don't like tea and honey. That's a grandmother thing. It's like, yeah, but if you try it, it really does work, right? So we can't be too locked in and stubborn. We need to be open and flexible to the promptings of spirit and understanding angels. Do y'all know that the word angel in, I think the original Greek means messenger, right? So we can very easily be angels for one another as we help to share the messages that come through. So don't be stubborn, guys. If there's somebody that's giving you their loving advice and it's coming from the heart and it's being inspired by spirit, please do your best to be open to hearing what they have to say. If you do that, what spirit promises is we get the 10 of Pentacles. This is our happily ever after card. This is the happy home, the happy family, something to celebrate. And all of those pentacles across the top says you have balance in all aspects of your life. So stubbornness and locking into how you are right now can prevent the very thing that you think you want. If you're open to that flow and you're open to the wisdom that comes to you, whether it's from spirit directly or from those earth angels that show up to give you that advice at just the right time, please do take it. And then the last card here is kind of funny because tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and it is our 9 of Cups upside down saying, do not overindulge. So take things all in moderation, right? You don't want to upset this beautiful happily ever after by overdoing things, right? So don't overwork, don't overeat, don't overdrink, don't overcomplicate anything. Just be as peaceful and loving and kind and joyful and really tune into the blessings as much as you can. And be a blessing for others whenever you see the opportunity to do so, even in small little ways. I was at the grocery, no, not grocery store. Yeah, I was at the deli department, and I saw that they had a cheese on sale that I know a friend of mine likes, and I'm like, I'm gonna get that cheese, and just drop that off because I know he's gonna like that, just because it just popped into my head. And sure enough, I saw him today. He was like, "Oh my God, that cheese was so great! It made my day." You don't know what little thing you can do when you get a random thought that pops in your head. They're not usually a random thought. It's spirit prompting you. It's planting that seed saying, hey, you want to make somebody's day a little happier, a little better, a little brighter? Just do this little thing. And it doesn't have to be this major miracle, life-changing, altering, crazy, huge gesture. It can just be a little thing. But those little things that we do for each other, they can make such a huge difference. Those kindnesses, guys, that is so much, there's so much joy in doing that and delight. It's like this little inner tickle, especially when you get the feedback. It's like, oh, really? That little thing made your day? Dang. And then you're like thanking spirit for poking you. You're thanking spirit for giving you that little tickle and that idea of something that was so simple and easy to do, but it made a difference in somebody's life, right? So try to be open as much as you can to be receiving those kind of promptings and act on them. I'll tell you this much, you will never regret doing a kind deed for another person. You will never regret taking that extra moment especially when inspired, to do something nice for another human being, whether you know them or not. How many of you have been driving through a toll booth and paid for the person behind you, or go through the line of the checkout and help somebody, or you see somebody struggling for the change, or they have the wrong thing, and you just hand them a $5 bill and it's like, here you go, bless you, right? Those
I get frustrated. I'm like, God,
let's go. Okay. Well, you don't have to always have the best motives in order to do a nice deed. It helps, but it's like, all right, come on, get out of the way here. Okay, ready.
No, I've done that before through drive-throughs when I used to work on duty.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to read a little bit from the Portal to Potential here, because these were all channeled writings from Spirit. And I want you guys to really feel the vibration. And I've shared this before, but I think it's worth sharing again. The value in reading or listening to anything that's channeled, or even viewing anything that's channeled. So whether it's a painting an artist has created, a song a musician has, words or an author have written down, whenever you are experiencing channeled information, it gives you the opportunity to basically backtrace up through the channel to the source to get what you specifically need. So it's kind of like tuning into a radio station, and it's like, okay, now I back channel all the way to the station itself, and I can figure out, oh, all right, I don't necessarily want this song or that song, but oh, this is what I really like. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. So there's a certain vibration that comes through that can be very beneficial to help inspire and connect you to what you need as well. So you are a daughter or son of destiny, an expression of light and truth. You are a child of the Most High and Holy God, the Source, the One who created all and is expressing as all you perceive, including yourself. The voice of Spirit is an aspect of your total self. There is nothing more that you need to be than what you already are. The only thing you need to do is be all you are with love. Make your days and weeks be filled with purpose, full of joyful fun and meaningful work. Ever move in the best possible direction for you, using, amplifying, and adding to the gifts blessings and opportunities in your life. Be in the service of the light during all your encounters along your journey. Your gift is your story. It is the treasure you share when you return from your personal hero's journey. If every part of your journey was planned out and predictable and known ahead of time, it really wouldn't be much of an adventure now, would it? Okay. One last one. The more loving I am to myself, and the more kindness and grace I show to me, the more light I can and will have available to shine into the world, giving and sharing from a place of strength and power and love.
Well, that was great.
Thank you. So I love reading from that because it connects me back to what came through. And it always sounds new to me, right? Because it's like I was just taking the dictation, right? So it gives me a little charge. But there's such good reminders of how we can be in the world, you know, how we can be the best possible version of ourselves, and also understand how we're all connected. You know, it's that paradox again, right? We have to go through hell in order to experience heaven. If there wasn't darkness, we wouldn't be able to perceive light, right? So it's in the opposites that we come to know the fullness of what's possible. So I know even in my own life, whenever I'm faced with a tragedy or a crisis or a trial or a tribulation or one of those, like where I just look up to heaven and say, really, really, really? You know, it's just like, come on, right? You know, you have that kind of moment of, you gotta be kidding. You know, I gotta be dealing with this again, or this is new, and boy, this sucks, right? You know, when you're getting those moments, you also have to kind of consciously take a breath, take a step back and say, all right, there's always something to be learned. There's always a blessing, even if it's a blessing in disguise, right? There's always an opportunity to learn. And whether it's resiliency, whether it's you're not alone, that people show up to help you in that moment of need, or wow, I'm stronger than I thought I was, or dang, I hit bottom and this really sucks. But you know what? There's no further down to go. I'm as down as it's ever going to get. It's all up from here. And I'm going to get there, right? And that sense of perseverance that you make it happen. So it is not, and please hear this, because this is so important. I work with a lot of clients, and so many of them will say, I don't understand why all this horrible things happen to good people, or I'm a good person, and why am I suffering so much? Or why is it one, you know, disaster after the next, or challenge after the next? And, you know, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're not. It's part of the path and your journey that your soul signed on to, so that you could have the lessons, experience the growth, experience the love, and be presented with the choices. And some people will call them tests. I don't necessarily look at them that like black and white, but you have the opportunities to learn how to adapt, how to grow, how to not just survive, but to thrive in spite of the challenges that are in your life. And being somebody that is of the light does not inoculate you from what you experience, right? Stuff's going to happen. Life is going to show up. People are going to disappoint you. People are going to leave you. Things are going to not go the way you planned. It doesn't mean that you're not still a bright light. All of that negativity that might be around you, that's not something that you have to choose to enter. You don't have to dwell on it. You could say, okay, so this, now what? Where is your choice? Your choice is on how you react, how you decide to take whatever hand you're dealt and say, all right, these are the cards I got. What am I going to do with them? How can I get the best possible outcome out of this? What do I need to do to strengthen myself? Do I need to ask for help? Can I go help somebody else as a distraction and be of service? Because sometimes, for as bad as we think we have it and are having it, there's probably somebody else on the planet that's having a worse day than you, okay, or a worse situation than you. And if you can be a blessing to that person and bring a little joy into their life, then it's like, okay, I don't got it so bad. I can get through this, right? So it's not that you did anything wrong. So I want to make sure we fix that right off the bat, folks. If you're thinking, I'm going through this hell, or I'm going through this challenge and I don't know what I did to deserve it, you probably didn't do anything other than on a soul level say, give me as many challenges and opportunities as possible. Give me as much as I'm able to handle, because I want to grow and be the best possible version of me and make the best possible choices. If you never test yourself, if you never say, if you just theorize it, gee, I wonder if I can pick up that 5-pound dumbbell, or how about that 50-pound barbell, or how about that 100-pound barbell, right? If you never test it and give it a try, you don't know what you're capable of. Faith isn't faith until you exercise it, right? Saying you have faith is great. Well, what gives you a chance to really use it and prove to yourself, yeah, I have this faith, whether it's a faith in yourself, a faith in God, a faith in love, a faith in community, a faith in family, whatever it is that you believe in, until it's gone through some sort of testing, then it's just theory. But once you've gone through that and you've tested it and you've applied it and you've come through on the other side and you've experienced a healing or a rebirth, or some blessing has now come because you struggled through and you made it to the other side, wow, it gives you this sense of confidence that, there's probably not a lot that life can throw me that I'm not going to be able to handle, because I make good choices. I choose to shine my light. I choose to heal. I choose to be introspective and to be self-aware and ask myself, did I do something to cause this that maybe I shouldn't have? If so, how can I fix it? If I didn't, and it just kind of happened to me, okay, so this now what? What do I need to do in order to get back on track for where I'm going? So if this thing derailed me and I'm like, wow, I never even considered that this was an option in life, and now look at where the hell I am. Okay, so what do I do next? And all you need to start to do is every day do one small thing in that direction of where you want to be going, back on whatever that direction is. And if one alternative is taken from you and like, sorry, you can't have that anymore for whatever reason, what's your next best alternative? So if I can't have that, that's no longer mine, right? My husband is now somebody else's husband, right? So I don't have that anymore. What's the next best thing? Well, I guess learning how to date in this modern age is a little different than when I dated, 20 and 30 years ago. But also just learning, fulfilling your purpose and being joyful, and eventually the right person will come into my life. So I don't have to obsess about what's missing in my life now. This kind of circles back around to gratitude. I can look at what is filling me with joy for the me I am now, on the trajectory of the me I'm becoming, but I'm just not there yet. It's a very different attitude. To get the nuance, guys, it's not like I'm trying to forget, like I'm not ignoring the quicksand I'm in. I'm not ignoring the poop I just stepped in, right? I'm not ignoring that. I'm dealing with it in this moment. Oh, so this now what? Okay, how do I get out of this quicksand? How do I clean off my shoe? And then once that's done, how do I get back on track? So if we can train ourselves and train the way that we think to have that spiritual mindfulness of focusing on gratitude, shining our light, being of service, developing our gifts, and fulfilling the desires of our soul. those desires that have been in your heart and mind and soul for your entire life, they're not there as some practical joke of spirit of, ha, 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 you always wanted that and you're never going to get it. No, they're there as a reminder of what's possible and trying to prompt you to take actions to start moving in those directions, to start expressing that creativity, to find ways to do those things that bring you joy and bring you that sense of fulfillment, that create a legacy, that makes your life matter, not just to you, but to the other people that are around you. So, were there any questions or thoughts or things that with that?
No, it's been fantastic, and I'm so thankful for having you a part of the Bigfoot Outlaw family.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be a part of this. I really am. I saw, I think, I don't know who it was, but I saw somebody said they wanted a reading. And what I feel like just reading for the group that's here is a lot of the things that I've already said is don't let the challenges don't let the worst things that are happening in your life define you. You choose how to define you. You choose love. You choose light. You choose to do the best you can, being patient and kind to yourself first. Love yourself, right? We talk about unconditional love. You got to start here. And boy, is that a tough one. If you've been raised where it was always you put somebody else first or you take care of them first, and that's the way to serve, I would challenge and ask you to rethink that a little bit, because if your cup is empty, you don't have much to offer. If your gas tank is dry, you can't drive anybody anywhere, right? So it's really important to be balanced and to be as strong as you can and to make those good choices. And if you're stuck in old patterns and you keep looping back and being like, why do I keep winding up in the same dang place over and over again? Take a breath, step back, and ask yourself, what can I do to break this cycle? Don't blame anybody. Don't be angry for however many times you looped around. Just stop, and wherever you are, make a decision to do something different. To say, okay, I think this will help. And a lot of times just doing one thing different will set you on that path that you need to get on. Folks, I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to tell stories and to share and to get messages from Spirit to bring to you and to discuss with you. You help give me a sense of purpose in my life. This to me is a joy to do. And I am so thankful for not just the platform, but for those of you who keep tuning in, week after week, and you spread the words and you like and subscribe and do all that good social media stuff, so that it gets out there, because it gives me that sense of purpose. I don't have children of my own. My legacy are the lives that I touch, the people that I've helped along the way, and then the people that you all will help and the people that you will touch, right? And isn't that how most people live their life, right? Very few of us will ever be the superstar, with the 80 million followers, right? Maybe someday, right? But very few of us will ever get to that. But you don't have to do that to make a real big difference, right? Those acts of kindness, touching the lives of strangers, touching the lives of your friends and your family, and making sure all the people in your circle know that you are a reliable, dependable, loyal, loving friend. You are a force for good in their life, that you will always be truthful and direct and honest, and you will always treat them like the family they are, as that one world family, and that you are somebody that resonates love and power and goodness and light into the world to the best of your ability. And when you're having a crappy day, it's okay. It happens. But just don't make it 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in a row, right? Stop, all right? Go through whatever you got to do. Heal, figure it out, and then get back on track. As long as you keep doing that, you will have the life you want. You will have peace. You will have joy. More importantly, you will have a sense of purpose, and that you are fulfilling your soul's destiny, what you were born to do. Most of us, that when we're in a feeling of frustration, it's because somehow we've lost the thread of that path. We've lost that essence of what am I supposed to be doing again? You know, it's almost like we have this little momentary amnesia because we got distracted by the day-to-day stuff in life, or just the complications, or the drama, or the trauma, or any of that, right? It just yanked us off our center. Come back to who you know you are at your best self. And that's who you be in the world, consciously choosing that as much as possible. And whenever you fall off the track, get yourself back up and get on as quickly as you can. Forgive yourself for falling off. Love yourself no matter how dusty you might be. Heal, move forward. Y'all, I wish you all the most blessed, wonderful Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. Feel joy. Be a source of joy for others. Check in on your neighbors. Check in on the people that you know are alone. Make sure they know they're not. Even if you can't be with them, reach out to them and talk to them. Make sure they know you're in their thoughts and prayers, that they're there for you, that you're there for them, right? We are one world family. Y'all, thank you so much. I love you. I'm so grateful that you tune in each week. I'm so grateful for you, Grizzly, for you setting up this whole wonderful Bigfoot family network and for taking a chance on me. You know, I'm so grateful for that. And Mary, I'm very grateful for you because this guy needs somebody to give him that extra little loving and taking care of. And thank you for being part of our family. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you much better over time, too. So, y'all, I know you have a plug for tonight's show you need to do, too, right? Are you on at 9 again?
At 9 o'clock tonight. We'll see you then. And from coast to coast, around the world, from our family to yours, happy Thanksgiving. Godspeed.
Thanksgiving.
Bye now.